Hi, my name is Canyon Prince. Welcome to day 9 of the human reboot experiment. So, the past 8 days, we've been covering a lot of kind of the overall ideas of what I'm talking about with this experiment, which is basically taking things that you're passionate about, feel that you're passionate about, and using AI to create things that can generate income in your given field or area of interest. The idea being that once you build these things, um, they can generate income and you can upkeep them and continue updating them or building new ones wherever you are in the world. Like for me, a big thing that I really want to set up in my life is just the ability to travel and be anywhere in the world and still be generating income and doing the things that I love and am passionate about. So today we're going to start actually getting into it and actually developing something. And so it will be this first thing we'll be probably doing over the course of a few days and few videos. Um, so this will be a good way for you to kind of see how this thing goes from start to finish. Um, so generally when you have the start of an idea, you'll use that pain point finder that I went over last week to help you identify certain things that um, fit into the area that you're passionate about to help you find something that's a pain point, which is something that people find is difficult or an area of uncomfortability. And then you would use AI to help brainstorm and figure out something that you could create, whether it be an app or a website or a service or a course or whatever, to solve that frustration or that pain point. And then you would start the process of building that thing out. So we kind of covered that a little bit before. The thing I want to do in these videos is actually build something. So as we saw in the Stitch video last week, where I created that mock Cannes Film Festival application, in like 5 minutes, we're going to use that workflow for this. So as I was looking through my list of 20 different app ideas and stuff that I want to develop, I was looking through them and figuring out, okay, what is a good one for us to start with. So the one that I found is essentially a journal app. So this is a hard journal that I use. It's got a bunch of writing and stuff in it. I used to journal a bunch because my brain was scattered. Hey, it's a man wolves. Um, and so, just writing and stuff that works for some people. That didn't really work for me. I needed the journal to be kind of a way for me to focus my energy and figure out what the hell I needed and wanted to do for the week. So it kind of evolved over, the course of these. And finally it became this setup where I have a calendar that I drew and I would put any things that I actually had scheduled out. That would be page 1. Page 2 would be this week's goals, and I just like write the things that I needed to or wanted to get accomplished for the week. Then I would have a page for each day, and in each of those days I would write down like what are the 3 most important things that I need to accomplish today. And then I would do other things that, I wanted to get done, or as stuff came up in the day, I would add it to that. And then I would cross it off as it got done. And then I would leave some notes on the day, right? And so I would do that for all 7 days. And then at the end of the week, I would have a week in review page where I would just kind of look back at the week and write, what worked, what didn't work, where I need to improve, and things like that. So that's what I did in this thing. And then at the time, and this was pre pandemic, I thought, oh, it'd be cool to develop a tangible, journal, and I might still do that. But for the purposes of what we're talking about, I think this is a perfect idea to create this thing. So at the time, I had a friend who was a graphic designer, and so he mocked up some journal pages for me based on this actual journal and the way I kind of worked it out. So I just want to bring those up real quick. So here we have uh, these mock-up pages that he did. And so over here we have the weekly calendar. This is what I was talking about with the actual drawn calendar where you would put the dates and things. And then the next page would be this week's goals. What are the goals for the week? And you'd write those down. And then the top of the week, day one of the week, you would have, this page and it has week, and then you would write week one, week two, week three. And then we did a Saturday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And you would just circle what day it is. That way, regardless of when you start using this journal during the year, it works out for you. And that was something that I kind of borrowed from this guy where it has these Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and you circle it, and then it just has like the number and date, and you would write that in. So then we go from there into the rest of the days of the week, which don't have the week number because we know what week it is, but it has the Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, the day number, and then the date number, and then it just again reiterates that what are you going to accomplish today, and it would have three things. And then at the end of the week, you would have this week in review. What can you do better? And so that was, basically what I just talked about. And then another thing I wanted to incorporate that I started doing um, during the pandemic and post pandemic was just this extra 2 pages that we would have each day. So it would be a day with your top three things that you wanted to do. And then, like in this journal, where on the under the three things I would write at the end of the day, my thoughts for the day, we just created this separate template page, which is in the morning, and it says, name one thing that scares you. So, like, name one thing that scares you today, this morning, because it's usually, you hear this in business a lot. Like, the thing that scares you is the thing that you most need to do because it's the thing that's going to make the most difference in your life. So I thought, oh, that would be good to identify that every day. What is the one thing that scares you today, this morning? And then we had a little thing for like a cool quote or something. Silver mist suffused the deck of the ship. You know, captains, no good captain has been made in calm seas or whatever that. So, creating something like that. And then we would have a section for the evening where you would say three things that you're grateful for, because I think that's super important. It's so easy to get inundated by the world and all the negative things and stuff that are going on. So it's like, way in the evening to pause and reflect and just like write down three things that you're grateful for, and then a note section to write any extra things, and then a journal page as well. And you could use that at night or in the morning or whenever you wanted. So that was the mock up that we did when we were going to turn it into a hardbound journal. And again, I might, turn that into like a free PDF or something that I give people. But so I wanted to see if we could generate this thing as an app because everybody's got their phones on them. And so let's get into it and let's see what's going on. So here we go. We're in Stitch again. And, as before, we could do a web page or we could do an app. We're going to do an app. And then I'm just going to open these and put these on my other monitor so I know what I'm going to be asking. So I'm going to click in here, and since I'm on Windows, I'm going to hit Windows H and it will start recording. Hi, so I want to create an app that is a journal. And basically, the way I want it set up is like this. At the start of the week, there will be a actual 7-day calendar drawn out with lines like a traditional calendar where the user could input certain things that they have scheduled, meetings and work and events and different things like that. Then the next page will be this week's goals, and it asks, "Ooh, what are your goals for the week?" And it'll have an area for the user to put their overall goals for the week, the things that they want to get accomplished. Then the next page will be the start of the week. It will have the week number up top, and then it will specify what the date is, the day of the week, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then the actual date. And then it will ask, what are the top 3 things that you want to accomplish today? And it'll have number 1, number 2, and number 3. Then after that, the rest of the days of the week, the next 6 days, won't have the week number, but they will have the Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and the actual date. And then again, asking what are the 3 main things you want to accomplish today? 1, 2, 3 for each of the days. So we have 7 days there. At the end of each of those day pages, we will have another 2 areas. One is morning time, and it says name one thing that scares you, and the user inputs the thing that scares them. Then it will have some motivational quote that's different every day, that's pulled from the internet. And then it will have an evening section, and the evening asks 3 things you are grateful for. And it has 1, 2, 3, and the user writes the 3 things that they're grateful for. And then there can also be a notes section if they want to jot down any notes. And then we will also have a journal page for each day, which the user can either fill out in the morning during their morning time or at the end of their day in the evening, to where they will journal about their day. And then at the end of all of that, at the end of the week, there will be a week in review page, and it will ask, what can you do better? And this is where the user can reflect on the week, write down their wins and their losses, what they need to work on, what's going well, and things like that. So, that in a nutshell is what I want to design. I want it to be slick and stylish, maybe have a dark theme and a light theme, a way for the user to choose whatever they want, and have it tabbed out so that they can look at, each week and have the different buttons for the different days. So go ahead and design something like that for me, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so that is all in there, and now I will hit this generate and we will see what it makes. Again, this thing works super fast. Now Stitch is just mainly working on the look of this thing, right? Like the visual design, and then we'll dial it in, and then once we have something that we like, then we'll take it over to Google AI Studios. Okay, so Stitch has put this thing together. It took about 3 minutes for it to do, and let's look at what it made. So first we have the weekly calendar. It's got the weekly schedule, week 43, today, and it looks like you can scroll back and forward. Has the different days: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then just like a regular calendar, looks like you're able to enter events. So design sync, lunch break, client review, blah blah blah. And then down at the bottom, it looks like it tallies some things: work focus, meetings, tasks completed. And then down here it has calendar, tasks, project settings, and then a plus button to add an event. So not bad. And then we got our weekly goals page. What are your goals for the week? Define your main focuses and the impact you want to make over the next 7 days. Then it has a area to type or use the microphone to talk, and a place for attachments, it looks like, and then save your weekly goals. which are saved locally on your device. Cool. Then it has the daily focus, and this is the equivalent of the daily pages. So the week number, the date, top three tasks. You enter those in, and then it has a little checkbox mark where you can mark when you've completed it. Then it puts the morning reflection, what scares you today. You write your thoughts. There's a little quote, the only way to do great work is to love what you do. I fully endorse that and believe in that. And then evening review, three things I'm grateful for, one, two, three, and then any notes. Great. And then it looks like it has focus, journal, stats, and profile uh, for this. And then, so I guess, yeah, the journal page is not in here. So we will add that. But then the last thing it has weekly review. What can you do better? Reflect on the past 7 days to grow in the next. Your wins. What went well this way? Celebrate your progress. Looks like you can add pictures, little emojis, save it. Losses. What didn't go as planned? Be honest with yourself. Reflection and growth. Based on your wins and losses, what is the number one thing you will focus on next week? And then you can type that in and commit to next week. So I like that. It's kind of like a accountability thing. Like, what are you committing to next week? It could be interesting to, um, you know, to build in like AI so that it could look at this and then using, whatever Claude or Gemini or ChatGPT, it could give you advice and tactics on based on your wins and your losses on how to, some changes that you can make to tackle the next week. And then it has a settings page and then a journal page and then a stats page and a profile. So let's do this. I'm going to come in here and ask it to create those pages as well that we're missing here. So I'm going to click in the box and hit Windows H. This looks great. Can you also create pages for some of these buttons that I see? The stats button, the profile button, the journal button, and the settings button. If you could create pages for those as well, that would be great so that I can see what they look like. Okay. And then, so that's in there. We'll hit this guy and we'll let it do its thing. So again, working with AI in general, it's always about this. It's like, some people, when they're new to AI, try something and maybe it's cool, maybe it sucks, and they get frustrated and they move on. It's all about iterations, whether you're building an app or writing something or doing generative AI. It's all about iterations, and some tools are better for some things and worse for others. And sometimes a tool is awesome for something and then it starts to hallucinate and get caught in a loop and you have to swap over to something else for a while. That's what I do a lot of times with Gemini and Chat GPT. It's like sometimes Chat GPT is useless, and so I'll be working in Gemini and then Gemini gets stuck and starts repeating the same things, and then I'll switch over to Chat GPT and pick up where it left off until it starts doing that thing, and then I'll go over to Gemini. And so it's no tools are alike, and no workflow, I think, can exist just in one sandbox. You have to move around, and things that work, this is especially true in the generative AI space where it's like something like a LTX or a VO or Kling or whatever can make something awesome for one video, and then you're like, oh, this is the only thing I need, and then you try it for another thing and it's like horrible, and then something else works better. So I think that's why a tool like Galaxy AI is so great, because it gives you access to all of those different things and you can try them out, and when one's failing you can just go to another one instead of getting all of these different, subscriptions to all these mothership sites is what people are calling them, like the cling.com, right? That's the mothership site. That is their actual site, but you can use these like aggregators to you know connect all of these. Okay, so it looks like it built this up. So it has it down here. These are the new things. So let's look at them. So we got our daily journal. How was your day? Capture your thoughts and feelings in the space below. Happy, productive, calm, anxious. Photos of the day. So you can drop in photos that you took just so that you can remember, and then you can start writing. That's awesome. Your growth status, insights and stats, day, week, month. So you can tally what you see. It has your streak, your focus, how many hours you have focus, your task completion out of those 3 tasks for the day, how many of those completed. It has a bar graph. That's cool. Activity goals, your daily reading, meditation, workout. That's super cool. I dig that. All right, your my profile. This is apparently Alex Rivers' profile. He's a journaling enthusiast since 2022. Tallies up his entries, his streak, the words that he's written. He's got his email, password, notification, app theme. So there's where we have our dark mode, writing prompts, mindfulness. So maybe the writing prompts you can change. Maybe there's a preset different categories of mindfulness, or maybe there's movie quotes, right? Like Braveheart quotes and Rocky and things like that. That would be fun. And then maybe in your app theme, you can like choose not only like dark and light mode, but choose the colors and things. Like this is like a blue style, right? So it'd be cool to be able to change it to green or red or whatever. And then your settings. Oh, here we go. So we have dark mode, we have accent color. So we got blue, pink, green. We could add more later. Your preferences, daily reminders, your reminder time. That's cool. So it would be built so that you get like a notification on your phone at whatever time you put here, 8:30 p.m. Hey, reminder, do your stuff. Data privacy, you can set Face ID, iCloud sync, connect to the Google Calendar, connect to Apple Health. So yeah, this thing is apparently set up for an iPhone. So to develop that, we'll need a Apple developer account. Luckily, I have one of those. I went through the process of getting that, so I can develop apps for the Apple Store. So as we work through this, hopefully we'll be able to create all that. So this looks pretty cool. I'm digging what Stitch has put together. I think there is a lot of potential here. And the nice thing is that this lives on Stitch. It's saved on here. So if we ever wanted to come back and change the visuals, we could. So for now, I think this is a good stopping point. And then tomorrow we will hop into Google AI Studio. So we'll bring this into Google AI Studio and then start actually creating the prototype app with all the buttons that connect everything together. So I hope that's useful. I'm excited. I think this will actually be a really cool app. And once we develop it fully, we can sell it on the App Store and start generating income, right? So thanks for watching. As always, like, comment, follow, share. I really appreciate everybody who's been reaching out and stuff. I'm super excited about this, and I'm super excited that you all are as well. And again, link is in my bio for the Skool community, where we're all coming together to do this and share our ideas and the process and learn from each other and stuff. So that's a great way to get connected to start doing this yourself, so that you can start creating apps and websites and things like this to start generating income. So that's it. Join us again tomorrow for day 10 of the human reboot experiment. Thanks a lot.